You know that the umbrella is my favorite lighting modifier, right? I mean, if you've watched enough of my videos, you know that. It's easy to use, pop it up on a light stand, attach a flash, and you're good to go, right? You know, easy to break down, easy to set up. But you know, the other day I was thinking about something. I noticed that some photos I was taking, I was doing a portrait. Some areas on the face just seemed to be a little hotter than I was comfortable with. I was thinking about why this happens sometimes. I mean, it's pretty easy, you know, if you think about it. Look at the umbrella here. Look at the shape of the umbrella. If you look at it like this area right here is pretty flat compared to, you know, how it curves out. This spot right here, which happens to be the most intense area for the flash, you know, most of the flash is going to be hitting the umbrella right about here when you're using a speed light. We're talking about a shoot-through configuration where you're actually pointing the speed light toward the umbrella this way instead of bouncing it out that way. You're pointing it this way. Your subject's on this side. So the most intense light is hitting about this area and coming out this way. Less intense light is coming out this way. And what makes it worse is that this area right here, you can see how it's curved out. This is farther away from the subject than this, you know, relatively flatter plane right here. So if you want something that's a little more uniform as far as the way that the light hits the subject, you're talking about something flatter, basically like a softbox. So when I'm not using the umbrella, I've often used this guy, which is a speedlight, a small speedlight softbox. You've seen this before too, probably. It's the Lastalite EasyBox hot shoe softbox. The way that this works is it's just a little awkward, but it does work. It's got its own little, obviously easy to attach proprietary speedlight holder. Speedlight gets mounted right here, points in here, and you've got a nice little softbox. But it is little. I mean, look at this. This is not that much coverage. So if you're going to use this and you want, you know, relatively soft light on your subject, you're going to have to put this right about no farther than about right here. And still, it's not that much coverage. But think about it. If you compare it to the umbrella, again, like I was saying, you've only got this much. This is almost the same coverage as you're getting with that little softbox, as far as like really useful light. The rest of it's just kind of going off in other directions. So obviously, a bigger softbox was in order. So today I went and picked out a Westcott Apollo Orb to see how that might work out. Now, I wanted something that would work with speed lights. I want to test it out. It's a much bigger softbox surface. Right here it is. It's even a little too big to fit in the frame. The only problem is that this softbox, the way it's designed, when it's mounted on a regular light stand with a standard umbrella adapter or swivel adapter, it'll only tilt so far. As a matter of fact, it barely tilts at all. I like my softboxes and umbrellas to tilt at about a 45-degree angle to the subject. This wasn't going to do it unless I figured out a way to make that work. The problem is pretty simple. If you want to tilt the Apollo Orb any farther than its design allows, you've got to be able to tilt it from outside of the area that the light stand actually fits into. The swivel bracket's inside and it can tilt. That's not going to help when you need to tilt it from the outside. Now, this isn't a problem that I discovered, because after I figured out how to do this, and I was curious to see if anyone else, you know, dealt with the problem. Even Westcott has their own videos where they show you a workaround by attaching some other gadget to your light stand to make this work. Anyway, so here's my solution. Now, I happen to have these mini boom poles that I use for microphones. See, I just basically mount a microphone up here for interviews and stuff like that. So I can just take this like this. And you stick this on a light stand or a C stand, and you adjust the angle from here. You can adjust the angle this way. Anyway, so I tried it, it worked. Let me show you what I did. You can see that now I can adjust this thing to any angle I want it. Fits in here. The actual swivel action is outside of the unit itself. Let me just go ahead and take this out so you can see. Okay, so you can see how this points backward toward the back of the Apollo Orb. The light bounces out back to the other side, to the front panel, and onto the subject. Anyway, this is what I did. I just mounted the swivel bracket with the flash onto the end of this mini boom arm, and it works. All right, so that was my solution to the tilting limitations of the Apollo Orb as it's designed. The other question is, will this actually give me a better look to my portraits than my trusty old shoot-through umbrella? I don't know. I'm a little dubious, but I'm willing to try it. I'm always willing to try new things. We'll see if this guy makes my portraits look more magical and more beautiful, and well, at least we'll see if the flat front panel gives me a nice even lighting. I think I'll get some decent results with it. Will they be better than the results I get with the umbrella? I don't know. So I'm going to do a photo shoot or two. I'm going to report back to you in a follow-up video with the results of that, and we'll see if I really fall in love with this thing or if I end up hating it and go back to my shoot-through umbrella. Really curious to see how it all goes. Were you worth the money I spent on you, Apollo Orb by Westcott? I'm so curious to find out. Anyway, yeah, I just picked this up today. I thought I'd share this little workaround with you, this challenge that popped up. I really didn't know I was gonna zip yourself up. Inappropriate. Show up like this. Oh man, lighting modifiers. You always hope that you're gonna find something that's the answer, and for me, it's always back to the same thing. Now, one thing that did work for me in the past that I was really happy with was an alien bees and something called a light dome I used. That was a rectangular softbox, but I really wanted to use something that was a little more circular, so I get those circular highlights. And this is an octabox, it's close. Now, another thing that I might try upcoming is a parabolic style softbox, something with a little more length to it, and I'd probably use something a little more powerful than a speedlight. But that entails more gear and more complexity and stuff like that. I just don't like all the complexity. I like stuff to be simple. This Apollo Orb might have just crossed the line as far as not being simple enough. So yeah. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope this was helpful. If you just got yourself one of these Apollo Orbs, then you're gonna run into the little tilting problem too. Maybe solve it the way that I did. There's stuff online, other videos that you can watch. People have come up with different ways to solve the problem. This was mine. I didn't even know there was gonna be a problem until after I purchased it. Due diligence, add due diligence. Anyway, I'm tired. Too much gear, too much gear to deal with. Is that it for today? I think it is. It probably should be. I'll see you next time.